Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant VTF here at T3 Live with this week's breakdown of the market. And unfortunately, now we're going after Labor Day. Everybody's like, well, after Labor Day, things will pick up. And unfortunately, it's empty nester week off. So some people choose to take this week off because you only have 4 days, you get a whole week out. So we're also right in the middle of a very tight range. And so we really, there's some things that really got to start getting set in motion. We got to get closer to seeing if we're going to have any change in interest rates, blah, blah, blah. So for right now, what you got here is ridiculously tight range and in the middle of it. So futures doing nothing right here, doji. So the question is, we're going to test that 220 SPY here. We're going to test down there first. Right, we got to test one side eventually, but right now we're right in the middle. If you go to QQQ, pretty much the same, right in the middle of this range. If you go to, let's go take a look at Apple. Okay, so Apple, we'll start off the day as a momentum hammer if we can try and come out of here. But once again, even if you come up into here, you're in the middle. You're nowhere near taking this out or that out. On the monthly, if it starts to go down, you do have somewhat of a shooter here in these lower highs in here, but not too much to look at here. If you go to the weekly here, still trying to make a higher high out of this stuff, and some lower lows in here. So still just walking down here to see if we can take out those highs and challenge anything, but no actionable signals there, unfortunately. If you go to yes, remember the Brexit. Oh yeah, the British pound dollar. After the Brexit, she goes inside month. So keep an eye on that. There's a big outside Brexit month, now inside month. So might want to keep an eye on that. If we go to small cappers, small cappers a little better. And small cappers, remember, they had these lower highs and then came up here and took it all out. Now, it's just challenging any of these highs or new all-time highs. And so to a certain extent, acting much better. You can see as the other ones are going completely sideways. This, at least, is walking up, albeit slowly. It does it. And so when you see an outside bar like this, all right, on the daily, you know that that's a broadening formation on a shorter term time frame. It has to be. It took out both sides. Then you have this hammer that took out all this to test the bottom of that broadening formation and go hammer, and now come up and try and take this stuff out. So the small cap are still acting a little better. Just don't have any new actionable signals on that. If we go to bonds, TLT, and this could tell a few tales this month, is the bonds are dead inside month. So that we want to know about. We want to see the break on either side of that months in the bonds, TLT. VXX doing its job, new all-time lows on Friday, and I think I've said my piece about this. It's just a thing of beauty. So I would love to have some volatility spike and have it take it up. For right now, just doing its job. If we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, and the diamonds, remember this triangle's here, the Brexit triangle. And still walking up a higher series here as well. You can see this, 1, 2, and then here took these guys out of the outside bar and then hammered and come back and now pops back into that range. So we want to get out of this outside bar and challenge stuff up into there. But right now, just doji, sitting there as a doji on the day. And we got a short week this week, which is good because that means we should form a lot more inside weeks. But here's that weekly, and just stuck in this range, and how we get out of there. The hopes is up, measured move out of that, but we shall see. In there you got the boing, and the boing goes inside month and slightly takes it out and then comes back in for the potential 1 bar rev strat. You got to get outside of this mother bar. So we'll see if it re-breaks or makes an attempt to go rev strat 1 bar. You got cat tractor, and cat, like many things here, just tight range triangle. So you can keep an eye on this. If you go to IBM, the beamer goes inside week. Here, and still trying to come out of all this garbage and like that. And so if it goes inside week down, if we start to get hit, you do have monthly shooter against some stuff, old triangle resistance here, and still putting in a series of lower highs. So you've got that potential shooter and inside week down, or continue to try and walk up this stuff. If you go to Intel goes inside month and trying to break out of this stuff here. So want to see, looking for buy signals above that to reconfirm, and then take a shot at those highs perhaps. Go to Mr. Softy. Mr. Softy, just another ridiculously tight triangle. We can keep an eye on this thing in here. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Now right back in the middle. If we go to McBurgers, remember McBurgers getting pounded last month off the momentum shooter. Here, so now goes inside week. So the question is it going to continue to walk down this series and get down, test all this stuff, or is this actually a higher series than that and take the week back up? If we go to mini mines, triple Emmer, yeesh, come on, man. But it goes inside month, and so let's see how the mini mines can take the inside month, the new highs. If we go to travelers here goes inside month, right on the highs with the financials making that push. And you can see there's 3 months sitting right here. So there'll be a lot of eyeballs on that. I mean, you're always at risk when you're going into those new highs, but you do got an inside month to do it. If you go to UNH, potentially here, bottom of the chart, get an inside day to keep an eye on here just to start off the week to see if it wants to expand down into here, or use that outside day, inside day take the inside day and then expand the shorter term broadening formation, take a shot at all this stuff. You got Aetna. Let's see, Aetna's also an inside day, and you've got Cigna. All this going inside week, inside day. Humana, another inside week. And then if you look at THC, you might want to keep an eye on this thing here, just this daily triangle like this, see if there's any hope out of that. Okay, if we go to, and see like Coke, see this Coke's been struggling down into this business here. And so the reason we're going to watch this stuff is that XLP went inside month. And so that's why you're going to watch the Cokes and your Pepsis and your Colgates and all that kind of stuff to see how they take another defensive posture here. If we go to the trannies, inside month for the trannies. So once again, it's put up or shut up time for the trannies, who nowhere near the highs right now. But if this was the actual lows and now we're consolidating here, stop them out down there. And now we got our inside month. See if we can start taking out some of these highs. So trannies going to be important. Yeah. If we go to American Airlines, potential momentum hammer comes off the bottom here. Now hit them, bring them back up. So watching this momentum hammer and American Airlines, and that's going to be above 37, 35. And you can see this daily, it's just drying up into nothing. So once again, you got to get outside of this 1, 2, 3 days inside of that range for some expansion, and that would do it. So we'll see how that goes. If we go to Alaska Air, just an inside day here. And if we go to the monthly once again, you've got the inside month here, Momo Hammer, trying to take a shot back up in here because you got them all but good down in here. So Alaska Air, we'll keep an eye on that. We've got Delta. Inside month for Delta, and that just needs to break. So the hopes of the trannies would be this is bottom of the triangle here, stuff, and comes shooting back up through that. Needs to break that inside month. If we go to Norfolk Southern and the choo-choos, Norfolk Southern just real tight. Daily here, 1, 2, 3 lows in this high, so this got to get out of this thing right in here. What is this? If we can get the continuation of this, that would help. If we go to no new actionable signals there though. If we go to CSX goes inside month. So watching that inside month break in CSX. If we go to CP Rail, a little bit of a momentum hammer on that. Just doing the chugga right now. Here, just walking up, need to get out of that stuff. If we go to CNI, you'll see the greater weekly like this. How can we get out of here? Weekly momentum hammer on old triangle support to try and take a shot up there towards 68 if we're lucky. If we go to FedEx is chopping around here. The question is, what is this? You had the outside week, and then you tested the out and came back in. So hopefully that would be continuation triangle where you get them out of this. Slight higher highs, slight lower lows, and won't take a shot at that. But you got UPS to hopefully lead the charge like this. The inside month. Got to get out of here. Does it drop all the way back into the triangle, or are we finally busting out to take a shot at the highs? This outside bar fractal triangle. We want to take that out. Inside month for UPS, looking for the break of that. CHRW, trucker goes inside month and up. Now still within this big mother bar, outside bar, but it is inside month and up. We'll respect that anytime we see that market and trannies going. You go to Rider Systems, letter R, you got it inside month. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if there's any more in the tank to help yield trannies. Okay, if we go to the Utes. So the Utes just up and then back down. So the question is, are we going to form a 4-month range, upper range like that? But to start off the week, you have almost is, oh no, it is for the XLU, RevStrat week. That's right, and that's going to give you ED as a RevStrat week. You've got Duke as a RevStrat week. ETR is one of those relationships you look for. ETR was too strong to RevStrat, which means it couldn't take out, it was too strong to take out those lows. So either this is going to help cause the rebreak by going down, or this has been stronger. If that RevStrat kicks in, we'll be taking a look at ETR. If we go to XME, the rocks. All right. XME goes inside month, and so the question is: Are we going to be weak enough to take this out and start more correction triangulating, or is it going to come back up and form a 3-month consolidation up into here, or strong enough to take that out and keep rallying? If we go to gold wasn't quite the inside month, and so it took out some of these highs. And gold once again starting off as the 3-monther here, and so the question is here last week. Took out all these guys and come back up and hammer. It's going to be strong enough to keep this series going, where you stop them all out, hammer, and then go flying back up. Because you can look at GDX here, old triangle support hits the weekly triangle and goes hammer, nuggy, all your buddies here. So let's see if these hammers can kick in if gold's for reals, playa. Silver. Somewhat the same, just doesn't hammer. Just a little bit stronger. Just open on the lows and starts ripping back up here. So how do we get out of this thing will be the next question there. Back to the gold miners. You got AEM looking like this on the daily. So you can keep an eye on this pattern in here for further confirmation. If you go to AU, you can see how much they've hit that comparatively. And then hammer, if this is, just got ahead of herself, goes inside weak, plunges, and now hammer. We can watch that hammer there as well. If we go to FNV, you'll see this very clearly. Looking for further confirmation within this greater triangle, and that's quite the move. If we go to GOLD, just another hammer, weekly. And on the monthly, comes back into triangle support up in here again. So if you have a tough time, even if it does go up, not being inside month, but that's okay. We'll watch these weekly hammers to see if they confirm. If we go to Alcoa, that's right. Well, but it is inside week and inside month, so we can keep an eye on that. And letter X pulls back and goes inside month. So the question is going to be weak enough to take that month down and then break the mother bar, or is it going to pop back up and stay in a 2-month inside pattern? But for right now, inside month, so we'll respect how that breaks. If we go to the financials, FAS, and last month was great, inside month and up for everybody. And so the question now is it continuing? Remember, we were watching that series of lower highs. And how are we going to break it? We're going to go inside month, we're going to go up, and that's exactly what happened. So the question is, are we going to be strong enough to take this out or up into here? Looking for continuation stuff. If you got a KRE, once again, it's going to be strong enough to triangle them all the way back. Remember that? Boom, bam. So inside month and up, XLF, same type of deal. So just to start off the week anyway, inside days all over the place. JP Morgan, inside day, Citicorp, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, here, and then Wells Fargo. So regional banks, BBT, also an inside there. BMO Harris Bank goes inside week here. So we can see if that's going to expand this on the inside week, or if it wants to drop back in. OZRK, the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, goes inside month. So this thing's just warming up. After last month, is going to try and reconfirm and help all that stuff in the KRE. So inside month and up, above 39.29 in the Ozark. STI here you can see this monthly triangle out of here, and you can remember how high this thing used to be. So like a lot of those more regional banks, and it goes here on the weekly, coming up. So what was I looking at? It's just not quite an inside month, I don't think. Let me see. Was I wrong? I think it just took it out. Yeah, by 2 cents. It's just, you can see all this 4 months right here. So this 44, 45 area going to be real important for that. If we go to Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs does this. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, and now higher high. So how do we get out of this? We want to get out of here, and you're starting off once again with, like everything else, inside day. Visa went to the highs once again off the inside month. So the question is going to be strong enough to just bust at a new highs and rock, with Capital One still coming off trying to break this lower series here. It was an inside month to the upside. Still needs to break out of this, that mother bar that it has yet to break out of. So we'll see how it sets up for that. It's also starting off as an inside day. Go to Discover. Once again, that was another inside month and up last month. Now starting off as an inside day. Interactive Brokers can be interest rate sensitive, and they're going to go inside month. IBK just nowhere near this to getting out of this range. First things first, how do we get out of that? Go to Insurers, Prudential. Remember that was inside month and up. So the question is, was that it? This the hammer, and now this the consolidation to try and take another shot up into here. Still lower series. We can see a lot of eyeballs here going to come up on 80. So we'll be looking for anything that might give us an indication of getting through there. And just like everything else, here you go, inside day. You got MetLife, also an inside day, and that monthly here, hammer. It was an inside month. Took it out by a little bit. Now hammers to see if we can get out of the mother bar with that. Using that hammer, so we'll respect that above that hammer. And HIG, the question is, are they going to forgive this after doing this? And all this stuff inside this bar, which was actually a gap here, but now inside day, and it's been sitting there long enough to form the inside month. And Ameriprise, AMP, one inside month and up for you, and starting off as the old. Once again, so inside day palooza for Tuesday morning in the financials. If we go to crude oil, USO, you see this, hit them, bring them back, and now back into the middle of the range. And so the thing about this, if you look at like DWTI in the monthly, you got a big range to not be an inside month. And so might be a little caution there, a little choppiness. But whenever you see that and you're nowhere near either side, we're going to just really respect full time frame continuity either way. If it's not going to be inside, that's the condition it's going to be in. Anytime it's in conflict, you want to be careful. That's how you get chopped up. If you go to XOP, once again, how do we get out of these monthlies? An outside month, that means fractal triangle. That's potentially good if we can get out of there. XLE the same. All right, you go to OIH, a little bit weaker. Potential momentum shooter back down to try and take this stuff out. So a little bit weaker over in the oil services. You go to Exxon, weekly. You can see this range in here. Outside week, stuck in all this business. So you got to get out of that or get out of that. No new good actionable signals anyway on that. If you go to Chevron, same deal. You're just stuck in this range doing nothing. And so, unfortunately, our hopes for a move in the underlier might be squashed for a little while because we're starting off dead in the middle inside month. If you go to APC, once again, here, APC on the monthly. Here, a little bit closer to taking these highs out. So a little bit stronger than the rest here. And that's it for right now. I wish I had more for you, but in the way of actionable signals, but I don't. If you go to APA, weekly, a little bit weaker. And you can see this, not near that, closer to taking this stuff out. So the best way to do this is really going to continue to look for the internal strength and weaknesses if we're going to trade the Urals. If you go to Contra CXO, you'll see the difference here. Walking up, and now RevStrat weekly upside. Inside week opens and closes back in there. 3 levels of stops, potential full time frame continuity upside. So keep an eye on the Contra. You got Devon Energy. Outside week, so tight stuff there, but once again, as far as everything else is concerned, this thing's been trending higher in an outside month to try and continue that. So the outside month fractal triangle, the daily going to look like this. Sits on support, support, support. Now you got a shooter potential ref strat back down. Got to get out of this range, but no new actionable signals outside of this setup to the downside. But this is what I just said, is we're going to be continue to watch the strength and weakness within the sector. Fang energy, and Fang energy was here. Outside month, all right, one bar rev strat, and so that's a triangle in and of itself that needs to get out of there, and so we'll look for further actionable signals. If we go to Emerald Hess now hanging towards the lower end, and you can see on the weekly, still walking down this business. How does it get out of this? And on the monthly, not quite inside month, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 months completely within this month's range. Got to get out of that. Go to Noble Energy, NBL. NBL stuck in the range. However, rev strat month potential because it was an inside month, and here still needs to get out of all this stuff, but that would go rev strat month to the upside above 36.21. Go to Oxy. Oxy went outside month. Look at this range. 1, 2, 3, 4 months right into here. So remember, we were watching that triangle here on the daily, and anytime you make the new high, that completes. So right here was higher than that, higher than that. Here's your big daily triangle you need to get out of. If we go to SLCA, SLCA walking up triangle support like that, like that, like that, and also going inside weak here. So this thing, obviously, you can see this move a lot stronger than those sectors. Now inside weak. All right, let's get to Patterson Energy. This goes inside month. Inside month. So either side of that we'll pay attention to. If we go to G-Por's hammer month. So go shooter up in here. Remember, rev strat, shooter counters hammer, rev strat down. Comes down here, stops these guys out, not weak enough to go down there, but we'll just respect that anytime it's above the monthly hammer and look for further confirmation. If we go to Slumberjay Oil Services. Slumberjay, monthly shooter, if they want to take it down. It wasn't quite inside, so it's not a rev strat, but it does take care of business up into here to stop these guys out. So the question is going to take that shooter down. So I'm certainly going to pay attention to that as far as OIH is concerned. And Halliburton, outside month shooter. And that was a 1 bar rev strat to the downside here, but now the shooter is a triangle expansion if it could take that down. So certainly want to be aware of the Slob Halliburton's monthly shooters should they take them down. If we go to Helmerich Payne, same deal, HP, and OII. What a sad story this thing is, and there's some discernible weaknesses you can see here for that. You go to rig, you get a diamond offshore. These things are all really hurting again. And once again, comes up, hits top of the triangle, and falls apart. And you can see drill and tidewater, all these potential zeros, if one is so inclined. If we go to Natty Gas, UNG goes inside weak here. Natty goes inside weak. So how do we get out of this stuff? Either side will be respected. COG. Inside week and down, but maintains the inside month. EQT. Remember, when inside month and down, now hammer. Potential rev strat to the upside on the monthly, and inside week combination potential for EQT. If we go to the refiners MPC. MPC on the weekly, you can see stuck in this range, and so the hopes of the faithful is this big triangle completed down into here. Right, and now starting to walk up, and you can see this on the daily. Triangle becomes support. Walk, walk, walk. Triangle them out. Keep walking up, and now inside day. If you go to Tesoro, you can see weaker. Tesoro goes inside month. So we'll see on how that handles that inside month. Because HFC, much weaker. Not quite a rev step, but would be shooter down. And you can see much weaker than the others. And here's that inside month butte. And we'll see if that continues. And CWEI, this thing, you just want to keep an eye on this thing just because of its volatility. I'll trade the volatility. Look at this range. We like that 60, 70 stuff, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd keep an eye on that from a short-term trading standpoint. If we go to XRT retail, here you'll see potential bottom of the ranger. And get out of here if we just test the range. That might be pretty good. But just doji day, and if you go to that monthly here, just doji month. So how do we get out of this? How do we test that, or how do we test that? So it's still a mixed bag and case-by-case basis over there. Walmart here. And Walmart pops up to at least almost, was that inside week? Let me see. Nope, not quite an inside week, but you can see how it's been walking up, triangle them out here, Brexit style, and all that kind of stuff. And then here, just a slight higher high, the slight lower low. Now, how do we get out of this? So be keep an eye on this daily triangle like this. How does it get out of this thing? Does it just stop these out for the lower triangle and drop back in, or start making a run up into there? We've got to look for additional actual signals as time goes by. Target, remember the monthly here, the big dumper, 1, 2, 3. Now starting a fourth inside bar inside this, so you need to get outside of this thing. Start off the week though, you do have inside week, and so potentially you go down sideways measured move and really get clobbered. That'd be ideal. Well, we'll see. Inside week, but that big month has got to break. If we go to Costco on the weekly, little dumpage, and so that just went triangle expando on the daily. Remember we were watching this? Triangle needed to grow, and it will. Peak. So down into here, just holds a gap lower, so nothing to see here, folks. All right, if we go to Abercrombie, no new actionable signals, but you can just see how damaged this thing is. If you want to try and look for additional signals, the shorter into the dirt, McGirt. If we go to Burlington Coat Factory, on the other hand, everybody likes coats, and no new actionable signals, just a really strong trender to see where the new triangles are, because they will triangle. Like you can see this. Stop them out, and then run again. All right, so nothing there, just outperformance up to this point. Burritos, the burritos goes inside month. Okay, if there's any hope, there's an inside hammer here. Otherwise, once again, you got the inside, so 3 levels of stops on either side here. So keeping an eye on that monthly break in the burritos. If we go to Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree big outside month got shellackered, and just comes down into here. Not weak enough to take this out yet, but if you go to the daily, it's a gap and go inside day down, and now actually it would be rev strat down if they want to continue puking. If you go to the DRI goes inside month here. So the question is, this range, an attempt to extend it, and goes inside, which means either it's going to try and continue that, or that is it, an exhaustion, you go back up. Either side of that month we want to know about. Go to Coors Purses. Coors Purses, on the monthly, you can see here, tries to take out this stuff. The outside month, that's fractal triangle. We want to know about that. How do you get outside of this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. So it needs to get outside of that. So just know this pattern I want to make you very aware of. When you're still inside on a longer term time frame, you expect to get chopped up. You go inside, you attempt this, then you go rev strat. You don't really fall apart because it's still consolidating. So it's got to get out either side of that. If we go to the Lowe Corp. Lowe's Corp goes rev strat weaker. Inside weak, down countered with hammer. So we'll see if we can confirm that. If we go to Phillips of Van Heusen. Phillips Van Heusen goes inside weak. Don't call it a comeback, but it is. If you go to the monthly, remember, we're watching it down here with the monthly hammer to see if we can get back and take this downward series out. Now you had the inside month and up last month. Now you got an inside week to try and reconfirm that back to the upside. If we go to RH, you might recall the inside month and up, but These 2 months completely within that month's range, so we got to get outside of there, and you got an inside week. If the comeback trail continues, here's your outside bar, took it to the downside. So the hopes is the triangle grows and you take that out. So you got an inside week to keep an eye on. If we go to raw stores, raw stores would be a rev strat week to the upside here. Inside week countered with hammer, trying to take her into new highs. On triangle support, if we go to Tiffany's, Tiffany's goes inside week, and so you can see this lower level triangle, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. How do we get out of this inside week? Does it drop back in and have all sorts of trouble, or we can take a shot towards the upside? It's also an inside day to start off the week. If we go to TJ Maxx, you get the max for the minimum at TJ Maxx, and that one inside weekend down. But on the daily, you want to keep an eye on this inside day hammer to see what is this. We triangle them back up into there. It's going to be failed hammer trying to expand. Starting off as an inside day. If we go to the IBB, and this thing, unfortunately, once again, everybody wants to call this thing and just in a mess. And so if you look at the weekly once again, you're going to see this here, the lower low, the higher high, the lower low, the higher high, the lower low, the higher high. Now drop back in. Inside week, you go laboo. Inside week, if you want some more rock and roll, and you got an outside week, inside week, outside week, inside week. It's potentially good for volatility if we can get outside of that outside week. Hopefully get some expansion out of that. If you go to GILD, it goes out on the lows. The best thing you can say about this thing is it's going to lower lows, and if that's an exhaustion, then you can triangle them back up. If you go to the daily, here, so triangled them out right here, then took them all out to the lows. No new actionable signals go down on the lows, but potential triangle support. Said things start to heat up over there. If you go to Celgene, and Celgene, once again, these things that are just middle of the range are a problem. Middle of the try. Higher highs, lower lows, higher high, lower lows, higher highs, and now right back in the middle, start all over again. Could use some actionable signal there. If you go to BIIB, it's trying to hold this extension. It's trying to hold out of here and going inside week. Problem 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks completely inside of that. So we've got an inside week to break, and then the previous outside week for an expansion to try and take that out. So we'll pay attention to BIIB on either side of that. And if it goes to the downside, it would be RevStrat month because it was an inside month countered with shooter. So we'll start off the week. BIIB inside week. We want to know about that. If we go to Amgen, little better, and Amgen up in here, not quite an inside week. We want to see what this range brings us, though. You got some tests up in here, tests down in there, and has acted a little better. Thus, the up, and then here's the range. But at least it was able to maintain this, at least for now. So the car's going to be strong enough to take a shot at all this stuff, and no new actual signals to do it. If we go to Regeneron, middle of the range again. Weekly triangle here, bam, 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 and now right back in the middle, and that needs to grow, and we could use some actionable signals, just don't have it. If we go to a BMRN, BMRN goes inside week, so you got that. There's something. And so if we go to the monthly, here it's trying to maintain out of here, and so we'll just see if there's any major move out of that IBB that could help in the BMRN inside week. CHRS also holding out, trying to get out of this range, goes inside week here. So your hopes there is up, sideways, inside week measured move of this and get through all this stuff and take a shot up into there. Inside week CHRS. Go to EW. Inside week near the highs. So it's once again, we had that outperformance on the RevStrat month. Boom. Now Doji month. And now reconfirm or negate that with the inside week. ILMN. ILMN went slightly inside week and down. It comes back in. So tactically, RevStrats just need to get out of this bigger bar. It would be the problem. And if you look at the daily, this is why you want to know about something that's still inside in the longer term. You get killed in here. All right? I'm not saying that there wasn't a few signals where you can say, okay, inside day and down, no follow through, but inside day and down, then counter hammer. But you got to get outside of this. You want to look for setups to take this, either that out, and then stay out. If we go to Jazz Farm. Jazz Farm just going the other way. Outperforming potential bottom of the triangle down in here. Remember, that was one of the inside month and downers for last month. And so the question is, does that continue? It's right now just an underperformer, no new actionable signals. If we go to Juno inside month. And so really want to see how that goes. You had your rev strat here, but the buyers didn't step up. So when this happens and then it counters the rev strat, what that shows me is they stopped it out these guys, but the buyer didn't step up. Boom, puke, shooter, and back down. Now you got an inside month to keep an eye on. PBYI. Don't call it a comeback. It's trying. It now goes inside week to see if it can continue this comeback, if you will, or do they triangle these guys out just to fall apart again? Like so. If we go to Perigo muy interesante. 3 weeks within this outside bar here, inside, outside, inside. So if that can take that out and trying to get that expansion going, you got a potential rev strat month here, inside month countered with hammer. So Perigo certainly an interesting setup. If we go to Rare, R-A-R-E, this would be potential rev strat back in because it's still 2 months within that bar, and that's what happens when the volatility dries up. But you got an inside week, inside, outside, inside week to do it. RDUS. See that? Breaks out of all this range and it holds so far. Tries to go momentum hammer, stop them out. Buyers didn't step up, backs down. Now it's inside week. So now we can see if those buyers want to step back in there and support this outperformance so far. If we go to Alexion, underperformance. So breaking out of this range down here, went inside, then rev stratted them and takes it down. And the problem with that is on the monthly, sets up the rev strat month. Still 2 bars within here, and that's why you can expect to get chopped if you're inside that. But for right now, it's trying to go rev strat month to the downside. ALXN. SRPT. SRPT goes inside week, if there's any hope. And once again, in the middle of all this, all right, the good thing is you tested the outside of that, and then you came back in here. Then they triangled them, but good off the inside week here. And then the rev strat week here, and then the inside week and up, and now just another inside week to keep an eye on. Usually pretty news-driven, though. Teva, inside week, and went inside month, so you got a potential combination there. UTHR, potential shooter back in. Was that inside month? No, it was not an inside month, but potential shooter down. But you are starting off as inside week after the outside week. So trying to hold triangle support here, and then this would be your upper level triangle because it's an outside bar, which gives you this. So you keep it on this inside day. How do we get out of this thing? ALNY. ALNY. Remember monthly. This would be a monthly rev strat back down and stop them out and dump, but we'll see. Because you're going inside week. See if this drops back into the triangle rev strat style or holds as an upper level. If you go to the home builder, that's XHB. XHB goes inside week, misses the month by a little bit, but ITB, which is almost more pure home builder, is going inside month here, trying to take out these highs. Once again, you had this big outsider, tested the downside. Now it comes up and trying to test the upside with the inside month. DHI is inside month and to start off tries to go to the downside, but has not broken this yet. KBH, inside month. Remember, we're watching to see if it can break this series here, and indeed it did. Hammer up here, and now tries to hold as the inside month. Lennar. Not quite an inside month, but starting off, it's inside week to get outside of the outside week. MDC, inside week and inside month to see if it's got enough to take a shot up into there. PHM, inside month. Toll Brothers went inside month and up. Now the question is, can it expand and take another shot back up into this stuff? Starting off as an inside week here. WLH inside month. right here. See if we can break this lower series. If this was it, this hammer was it. Now starting to walk up. So you got inside month, a whole bunch of watch there in the home builder. All right, if we go to tech, the SMH semi is still doing the chugga chugga after the momentum monthly hammer and gone. So a little tough to trade, but here you can see that chugga 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 just keeps powering up. So if we go to XLK, a little bit different story here. You can see it just like the Qs and just trying to get doji, but to top of the range. So the question is, if we can take this stuff out, does it stay up there, or do we come down and triangle and take out the other side? Just starting off as a doge. If we go to Facebook, finally got the inside month here. So the inside month above 126.73, it's right there, and then we'll have to take a test at the highs. The problem with that, you can see that's about where it quits, but you would have that actionable signal to go. Also at the Netflix, finally, inside monther, got to get out of there. Okay, if we go to the Amazons, tight ranger this on the daily, just takes out this stuff a little bit in here, so still chugging toward the highs just to have no new actionable signals to do it. Could use a little volatility. Go to the Google, and the Goog, remember, this is why you wait for those big bars to break. Remember that big outside month, and it took it down here and went all the way and triangled it right back up, and that's why we watch these big bars, because people fall asleep and trying to figure out what it's doing in here. I'm like, it'll take it out, just gotta wait, So it would be monthly shooter back in, but ever since this gapper here and this outside bar meandering, it does hold above that. That's somewhat good, but as you can see, it's walking down into here and doging out and not really doing much, so be careful in there. If you go to the Autodesk, all these days within this bar, that's got to change, and the good thing is that helps it form inside weak to see if they can go up, sideways, measured move, and finally blow this triangle out. And look at this business in here, right? So I said you got to get outside of this stuff first, test it, fail, hammer, see you later, triangle them out, hammer, momentum hammer, and now inside weak toward the highs. Autodesk. Go to Akamai. Akamai goes inside weak here. Still got to get outside of this thing. So it goes down, goes inside weak, and doing the slow walker. And it's also here, because it's all in there, that inside month after the outside month to try and get out of this. Remember, it's a big gap down and trying to recover here, but needs to get outside of all that stuff. But you do got some actionable signals to do it. If you go to the Baidu, daily shooter here, and problemo here. Here's this monthly. So it did go month and up. There's your 2-month pattern, but you're right in the middle of all this range would be the problemo with this thing. But you do have an outside week to try and do triangle expansion on the daily here. So the daily going to look like this. Either shooter back into this thing or expando outside of this. Bam, 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 bam. If we go to CHKP. Trying to do the old stop mount monthly hammer here, still at a higher level than that. So monthly hammer up for CHKP. We keep an eye on that all month. CTXS here. Monthly doji and inside. And so the thing is, here's all the highs right in here. We took them out. Now the question is going to expand that, or is it going to be slight higher high month and drop in? So we'll keep an eye on that monthly break. CY inside month in the semis. So here's that monthly, and you can draw it, any way you want here. So once you go off the highs, anything that's lower than that. So first things first to take out that. But you got that inside month to just try and get outside of this range here. If we go to FTNT, well, first Hack. Go to Hack. Hackman chugging here too a little bit. All right, trying to get out of this, and that hammer here and inside weak and up. So it's trying to just continue that, because Cyber here, not quite a ref strat or weak, but you can see it needs to get outside of all this stuff. The monthly, I believe that was slight higher high. Yes, and so it's not inside, but still holding a higher series like that, because if you go to FTNT now, FTNT is inside month, trying to go to the upside on the inside month, and VDSI here goes inside week, Try and get out of that. And then you get the old Palo Alto triangle, but good she did. Outside weekly momentum hammer, and any outside bar is going to look like this. Here, triangle to but good. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. Bam. But now weekly momentum hammer to see if we can get out of that. Like so. Go to Juniper. Juniper goes Rev Strat week, still with inside the mother bar like that. Also Juniper. Inside month combination. See if this is higher level than this stuff here. Go to now, NOW. NOW inside month and trying to come up on the upside. Inside month and up. Potential here for the old now. If you go to NTGR, the Netgear, chugga. Inside week here to see if they can maintain this. Nice move. A little slow gone, but going in the right direction and inside week. If you go to NVIDIA, another ripper. It's going inside day, and you can see stuck in this range here. So whatever side that or that takes out, it's got to stay out there because it's looking rectangular, but it's not. There's going to be a triangle there somewhere. So it's either a tight one and a clean break. It was for right now hanging near the highs. Go to NXPI. NXPI went inside month, tried to take it to the upside. So it would be Rev Strat to the downside, just completely within this mother bar thing there. And starting off as inside week. If you get an OLED, OLED went inside week and down. So the question is here, is this inside day going to be the bottom of the triangle and start ripping back up? And here is it going to try and expand to the downside? Because the good part was, or would be, there was the outside month, and you've already had your test of the outside month and trying to recover it. So it's either an expansion of that triangle to the downside or come back in off the inside day. Go to Qualcomm. Qualcomm potential monthly momentum hammer here. Took the big digger here, then the inside month and up, and now momentum hammer to try and get outside of that. Go to Corvo. Corvo goes inside month, but you're dead in the middle. Got to get out of there to start off. Do go inside week. Go to W day. W day, you can see this big triangle here, and to try and get out of that, you got the monthly momentum hammer. Go to Xilinx. Xilinx momentum hammer on the highs, the recent highs, to try and get out of there with the semis. All right, just a few more. ACIA, inside week, and we know what kind of a mover that can be. AQXP started to heat up again, and on there, that inside day. Now you go inside day again. Got to get outside of this thing, but we know what this thing can do if this thing heats up. HRS. No new actionable signals, just outperforming and chugga to look for additional signals. IDCC, the same, trying to go momentum hammer after this triangle expansion that it just ripped apart. And on the monthly, you'll see this. It's been up in here. So the question is, here's that triangle in here. Got him, but good she did. And then here, it was inside month to the upside last month. And now the question will be strong enough to take that. So we'll keep an eye on it. MGM. MGM is just potential Rev Strat month to the downside because you got win just stuck in this range. Inside month here, just got to get out of this consolidation. If we go to NXST, inside month, inside week potential combination. RCL. RCL would be Rev Strat week to the downside. And Rev Strat month to the downside if they want to hit this thing. Once again, all these bars completely within this month's range. That's got to change. So be aware of that. If you go to Tappy inside month and trying to go to new highs. If we go to TWLO, starting off as an inside week. UVE. Let's see this big triangle here, triangle but good down here. Now trying to take these guys out, just starting off as an inside day. Here, Zilla, them home builders potentially here. You got a Rev Strat week in the Zilla, and finally Tesla. Tesla this monthly, got to get out of here. So slight dark cloud cover, then down takes that out. And 1, 2, 3 months inside of this thing. We got to get outside of this thing and see if we can stay outside of June Brexit range. And we're not there yet, so doesn't mean you can't trade it. It's been a nice move in here. Doing nothing, then falls apart. Still higher than that. We could use some additional actionable signals on that. Don't have it. So, stuck in the range for the SPY. We got a short week, and so the good thing about a short week is that we have a higher probability of inside weeks, which would give us a lot more actionable signals to start rocking and rolling coming into the fall. But short week, a lot of people taking this one off, waiting on interest rates, all that kind of stuff. So we'll just watch these actionable signals for reconfirmation as the month goes on and see if we can dig up during the day. That's why we watch the gapper list in the morning and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's going to do it for this week. I hope everybody had a nice, fun, safe, relaxing Labor Day. See you bright and early Tuesday morning. I'm Rob Smith at the end of Black Quant Edge VTF here, T3 Live.